Sitting in the heart of the state of Victoria is Australia's second largest city, Melbourne. Melbourne grew rapidly in the mid-1800s as a result of the discovery of gold nearby, and much of the city was built at a time when money was literally coming out of the ground. Melbourne's architecture is a reminder of its grand and wealthy roots, but the city somehow achieves this without being ostentatious. There is loads to see downtown and even more to keep you occupied with its many suburbs. We spent 5 nights exploring as much of Melbourne as we could pack into our time there, and it easily stands out as our favourite city in Australia. This is what we got up to.
Good morning. Want to give us a wave, darling? From Federation Square in Melbourne. That right there is Flinders Street Station. Everything goes in and out of Flinders Street, which fronts onto this area, Federation Square, which was opened in 2000. I think it was supposed to be 2001, actually got opened in 2002, to mark 100 years since the Federation of Australia in 1901. So this is one of the most recent sort of urban public spaces in the city. And we are going to go and explore. It's the NGV, the National Gallery of Victoria. The NGV easily ranks as one of the best art galleries that we have found anywhere in Australia. In addition to a wonderful selection of Aboriginal artworks from around the country, you'll find sections on fashion, graphic design, and even strange collections of, well, you'll figure this one out yourself. Anyway, it was wonderfully creepy. Oh, and upstairs there was a brilliant section all about advertising, which I loved. Oh, hello heated light. Welcome to Degraves Street, just opposite Flinders Street Station in Melbourne.
Melbourne CBD is laid out in a grid, but nestled in between and throughout is a rat run of side streets and arcades filled with amazing cafes and some brilliant boutiques.
Lauren has found a place where she wants to eat everything. That's so brilliant.
There were numbers of different factions, and nothing ever got done. Yeah. So I think that
sounds like politics, doesn't it? We just did a fantastic tour of the Melbourne Town Hall. We caught it by pure chance. It runs at I think 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. and by pure luck we caught the 1 p.m. with about 2 minutes to spare. Shout out to Jim, fantastically knowledgeable about the history of Melbourne. Really learned a lot, and we got to stand on that balcony where the Beatles stood in the 50s and caused 70s, don't know, caused the 60s, caused a mass stir. Apparently 20,000 people rammed into the streets out here to see them on the balcony. Highly recommended as a way to orient yourself around Melbourne and learn about the history of the place. That was really, really good tour and free.
After a quick coffee break, we cracked on.
At the northeastern side of the CBD is the impressive State Library of Victoria. In addition to the huge range of books, it hosts a number of galleries and collections which are well worth a visit.
Hello. We are in the State Library and there's a wonderful exhibition about stuff. We're a bit tired and the constant rain is bringing us down. But we found this thing, I'm not sure if it's an installation, but it's very comfortable, so we are lying down, as you can see. There's people sitting over there, so I'm assuming we're allowed to be here.
On a chair.
Oh, I'm sure this is fine. Anyway, we're old.
We're old and we're very comfortable and we're going to stay here for a little while.
And my back hurts, so we're going to chill here for a minute until someone moves us along. And then we'll keep our tour of the library going. This is Ned Kelly's armour, which is on display in the State Museum of Victoria here in Melbourne. weighs 44 kilos and he wore it during his final shootout with the police. You can see the bullet holes that are in it, but one of them managed to shoot him in the leg and that brought him down. And eventually he was tried and hanged for the murder of 3 police officers. He is an Australian folklore hero. And you can see the little slit for him to look through. That's the gun that he had, one of the shoes that he wore. There's a fascination around here with the story of Ned Kelly. Welcome to the Queen Victoria Market, the largest open air market in the southern hemisphere. This is our tour guide Josh. Josh, give us a wave.
Hello there. You've caught me.
He's an authentic Australian.
Yeah. Just up like a hermit.
After a quick, and if we're being honest, slightly underwhelming walk around the market, we made our way towards the Melbourne Exhibition Hall and had a quick look at the Melbourne Museum. We stopped for lunch at the institution that is Pellegrini's. This family-run cafe and espresso bar was established in 1954 and offers delicious traditional Italian dishes, and the menu changes daily. We had the chance to sit in the kitchen watching the chef cook our pasta.
A stone's throw away from the NGV, also on Federation Square, is ACMI, formerly known as the Australian Centre for the Moving Image. Being a massive Marvel nerd, I quickly found something here that made me very excited.
Is the costumes from Thor Love and Thunder. Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth.
Russell Crowe behind
Zeus. Christian Bale. Very simple actually, isn't it? But it's a very effective costume. Gore's outfit.
reflective of his character then.
Yeah. Valkyrie. Well, there you go. That is Stormbreaker. Oh my word, look at this. I'm a massive video gaming nerd.
Oh, it's Buzz!
What a collection of consoles. Oh, the N64. Remember those days?
The ACMI is also a great place to learn about the power of media as a tool for driving change, with particular exhibits about climate activism and the role of video in calling out police brutality.
This is the State Parliament of Victoria building.
Victoria had the 50th anniversary of her reign. They changed the name of it to Queen's Hall at that particular point. Thought that there's between $5 and $7 million of gold leaf on the ceilings here. Again, they're building it during the gold rush, and when they built this chamber and the one next door, the money was still plentiful at that particular point. Papers all go up to the rooms at the side, and they didn't put the gilding up here.
After a couple of much needed drinks, we made our way to Chinatown for dinner. Lauren was very happy about it.
I've got a belly full of food. I have a belly full of food.
She's also had a few cocktails.
I've had some cocktails. I've had some cocktails. The next morning, we went for brunch in one of Melbourne's trendy suburbs, Prahan. We enjoyed a walk through Chapel Street, a 4-kilometre long high street boasting many restaurants, bars and boutiques. We finished at Prahan Market, where we stocked up on some goodies for a barbecue later that evening.
Good afternoon from a very warm and sunny Melbourne. In front of us is the tallest building in Melbourne.
What a great little spot. You're listening to the Federation bells. They were installed here to mark 100 years since the Federation of Australia. Welcome to the Rod Laver Arena. This is where they play the Australian Open in January every year. There are statues all the way around the square, the circle here, of winners. This is Ashley Cooper, who won 8 Grand Slam titles, including in Australia in 1957 and 1958. So we're in the middle of the Olympic Park. So you've got the John Cain Arena there in front of you. You've got the cricket oval over there in the background. That's where they play the AFL, but it was the main stadium for the Olympics, I believe. And then that's the Rod Laver there. The river's just over this way, so you've got this wonderful backdrop of the city, which is fantastic to see. Something we're not particularly used to in the UK is having parrots just flying around the place. All we get is crappy pigeons. But look at these guys.
They make the prettiest sound.
They make a lovely noise. They're just chilling out. There's another boyo just sat on the tree there. The colours of them are gorgeous. A little reminder that in spite of the grey clouds, we are in a tropical climate. So we're walking over the River Yarra, which we learned in the town hall was so named by the locals because when they first came here and spoke to the indigenous peoples, the people always talked about this as Yarra Yarra, which it turned out later just meant flowing water. But that was the name, and that was the name that stuck as far as the European settlers were concerned. Brilliant view into the city from here. Welcome to the Melbourne Botanic Gardens. It's lovely and peaceful. What size this boyo?
Like it.
Walking around with its giant size 12 feet. God. We're just trying to eat lunch in peace.
Go away. Please.
Seems friendly.
No, it doesn't. Look at his feet.
Look at his feet. How about this as a place to stop and eat some lunch? It's lovely. Really peaceful. I've never seen a tree growing legs downwards like that before. Looks like a palm tree above, but underneath it's just got all these legs holding it down. Very weird. These gardens are lovely, really peaceful. What a nice thing to have in the city for everyone. This is the Shrine of Remembrance. It's the World War I memorial. I wonder if the World War II memorial might be on the other side. It's stunning. This wonderful view down into the city of Melbourne.
Inside the shrine, we unexpectedly found a wonderful museum all about Australia's contribution to the war efforts in the First and Second World Wars.
Had been sent to seize the Vichy French colonies of Syria and Lebanon. In June and July 1941,
Inscription reads, "These figures of father and son honour the courage and sacrifice which link 2 generations of Victorian servicemen and women who served and died in the World Wars 1914 to 1918 and 1939 to 1945. This is the crypt. That sits in the centre of the Temple of Remembrance, Shrine of Remembrance, forgive me. It's really, really wonderfully done in here. We are standing on the top of the Shrine of Remembrance. And this, I think, is probably the best view of Melbourne that we're going to get. We've walked down towards the Southbank area. We're standing amongst the high-rises. Architecture's fabulous. From what I've read, this area has regenerated quite a lot of late. It was at one time the poorer, more industrial section of the town, the city rather. And they're pushing hard to gentrify it. Look at that. Brilliant. Melbourne Southbank. It is vibey. That right there is the Crown Hotel. At the top it's got the largest casino in Melbourne. We're halfway through our time in Australia. This is what we came for. Melbourne. Brilliant. Look at this. Good morning from the trendy suburb of Fitzroy. What do we think, darling?
Very cool. We do not belong here at all.
I obviously do. It's very Shoreditch. It's very what was that? Chelsea Harbour, New York. It's got a bit of a sort of deliberate rundown vibe about it. But if you look behind that little facade, it's extremely wealthy, you can tell quite quickly. And it's where the young trendy people live. And so far it's a nice day.
And do we come down?
It would be very easy to miss this if you didn't go looking for it, which we didn't. But this is the Fitzroy Town Hall, library and courthouse all in one. And it's really impressive. It's well worth swinging by for a look.
We liked Fitzroy so much that even after we'd seen it, we just decided to walk around and see it again.
Welcome to Fitzroy Park, nestled just on the eastern side of Melbourne. It's beautiful. Everywhere in Melbourne is just stuff full of beautiful flowers and plants, and this is no exception. This is Captain Cook's cottage. It was shipped over in the 1900s from Yorkshire. It was originally built, I think, in the 1700s.
After a brilliant 5 days seeing as much of Melbourne as we possibly could, we got on a train out of Flinders Street one last time. As much as we loved it here, the time had come to leave the fantastic city of Melbourne.
Next time on the Doms Down Under, we find a little bit of luxury on the Mornington Peninsula.
And relax.
We explore the incredible views of Wilson's Prom. And we catch up with some old friends.
Before we say goodbye, we'd like to say a massive thank you to our friend Josh for letting us stay around his place in Melbourne.
Thank you so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed the video, please remember to hit that like button.